welcome to Junk Journal July Embellishments day 19. Yay! Okay, enough excitement for one morning. Today the scraps that I'm using is I've got some long strips and I'm recreating a journal from 7 years ago, and these are some of the leftover papers, and I want to make some handmade buttons, some paper buttons, using these leftover strips. I've also got a strip of leftover file folders, so I'm going to use those. So I've also got a 3/4 of an inch circle and an inch circle. I've also got a button. So the first thing to do is to punch out some circles, and you'll need quite a few from the file folder because we're going to be stacking them up. So you can just sit there quite happily just punching out. I'm only going to do a few because I've got loads of these already. Alright, so you just need to punch out. It's going to take 3 to 4 of these for each button. Right, so that's one size of button, and then we're going to make a bigger button as well using the 1 inch circle punch. So there's 1, 2, oops, missed the edge, 3, we'll do 3 of those, and then you need one of your patterned papers for each stack of 3 or 4, depending on what you go for. Alright, so I'm going to go off and go and punch a few of these out, and then I'll be back with the next step. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've taken 3 of my larger circles, and I'm just going to stick them together by just running a line of glue around the outside, not in the middle, because I'm going to poke some holes through, so I don't want that glue in the way. And then I'm going to sit one circle on top of the okay, and then do the same with the third circle, and stick that one on top of the other 2. Now I've used file folder because I've got lots of bits of leftover, but you could use craft cardstock, you could use black cardstock, because that will form the depth of your button. And so if you want black to be more predominant or craft to be more predominant, or even a coloured card, you know. And then I'm going to take one of my, let's have that one because it's slightly darker, one of my pattern circles, and then I'm going to put glue again around the outside, round the outside, round the outside, and stick that on top. Push them so that they're all nicely lined up, and we've ended up with the basis of our button. I've now got one of the circles, and I've got a big button with 4 holes in, and it's the same size as my circle. So I'm going to sit that on top. I'm going to bring it a little bit nearer to me because I can't see that far away. Okay, I'm going to sit that on top. I'm going to take my pokey tool, make sure I'm kind of lined up. I think I am. And then I'm just going to poke through those 4 holes. And now I've got my button template. So I can sit my button on top of the foam, sit my template on top of my button, and poke those 4 holes through all of those layers. And now I've got my button. I would then ink up the edges, and trying to focus a little bit on those side circles as well, but you won't get everything covered, you know, and it's handmade, it's not meant to be perfect. Okay, and that's one button done. How simple is that? I'll do the same with 3 smaller circles. So again, just glue around the outside, round the outside. Stick one on top of the other. Glue around the outside of that layer. And sit that 3rd circle on top. Line them up. And now take one of my papers. Let's have you, because you look pretty. And I've already got a template. And these have just got 2 holes in. Line it up. Pokey tool. Ink up the edges, and then I can stitch some thread through the buttons. And I'll stitch through it a couple of times to help the thread to stand out a little bit, and then back up to the front. Form a loop, put the needle through the loop once, twice, and then pull it in nice and firm and snip off the excess. And then I'll have a handmade button that will match up beautifully with my junk journal that I've been making, or my journal that I've been making, not junk journal. So I have a designated box for these, and I keep all my larger punch circles in a glassine bag, and I have all my smaller circles in another glassine bag. I have a bag with little punch circles in, and I have a bag with bigger punch circles in. So I'll keep my templates in the bottom, and then I keep these circles in a box so that I can bring them down, sit in front of the TV and start to make myself some paper buttons. Now I've done some other examples here. So this one I put glossy accents on, but you can use whatever, so you could use your ultra thick embossing powder on there. That was just a piece of paper. That was just a piece of paper. Oh, that was it. So this one's got a bow on it, and this one has just got the knot on it. And then this one, I ran a piece of black card through the embossing folder and then ran some gold ink over the top of the embossing. So you can make all sorts of different handmade buttons. So let's see what you can come up with to create your own. Thanks for joining me today. Short, sweet and quick. See you again tomorrow. Bye for now.